similar fashion, recite the similar dua. There are other du'as that are also mentioned, وَجَّهْتُ وَجْهِيَ لِلَّذِي, and other du'as that are also mentioned at the time of Aqiqah, but it is something which is Rasulullah performed, and this is what he recited for Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salatu wassalam.
Allahumma salli ala.
So Rasulullah considered Imam Hassan to be his own son. Not considered, Imam Hassan was his own son. And there were many proofs of that was given. On the occasion of the birth, Rasulullah calls upon the children and says, or his son and his daughter, or rather his daughter, Janab Sayyidah, and says, and the servant who was working in the house, Had ibnai hada, that give me ibni hada, give me my son, hada sayyidun. Look at the words that Rasulullah is choosing. He said, Ibni hada sayyidun. This my son is Sardar and the master and the leader. Now one point, you and I give labels and titles to people. We call someone to be strong, because that person in our perspective is strong. But relatively speaking, that person may not be strong in the eyes of another individual. You and I call someone to be generous, because that person has given a lot. But in the eyes of another individual, relatively speaking, he hasn't really given anything. Someone who has given, for example, $1,000 in our eyes is very generous. But in the eyes of another individual, may not be that generous. Depends who is looking and who is calling that person to be associated with that sifat. So you and I might call someone to be Sardar and the master and the leader, because you and I consider that person to be Sardar and the leader. But at one point, it is someone who is Sayyidul Mursaleen himself, who is the Sardar of all of the Anbiya combined, who's Khatamul Anbiya, who's the seal of all the Anbiya. He goes there and calls someone to be Sayyid. He said, Ibni Hada Sayyidun. When Rasulullah refers to someone as Sayyid and master and leader, then definitely there's a difference between that person being called Sayyid than when you and I refer to that person as a Sayyid. Hence we look at over here that when we do the ziyarat, all of the Anbiya are mushtaq ziyarat of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Isn't that the case? That's what you recite in ziyarat al-Warith. What do you recite? Assalamu alayka ya waritha Adam Safwatullah, Nuh Nabiyullah, Ibrahim Khalilullah, Musa Kalimullah, Isa Ruhullah, Muhammad Habibullah. All of these are who? They are mushtaq ziyarat of Imam Hussain. That's what they're called. Imam Hussain is Waris. When everybody wants to do the ziyarat of Sayyid al-Shuhada, you know whose ziyarat Sayyid al-Shuhada wants to do? He wants to do the ziyarat of his brother Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba.
SubhanAllah.
When you and I we are longing, and all the Anbiya are longing for the ziyarat of Sayyid al-Shuhada. But him, Sayyid al-Shuhada himself, goes for the ziyarat of his brother Imam Hassan every Shab Jum'ah. This was the routine of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And why wouldn't it be? Because he had heard this first hand from his grandfather, Rasul Akram Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa. He said, Ya bunayya, man zarani hayyan aw mayyitan. Oh my son, whoever visits me while alive or after my death, aw zara abaka hayyan aw mayyitan, or visits your father after when he's alive or after his death, aw zaraka, or comes and visits you and does your ziyarah, O Hassan al-Mujtaba, whether you're alive or after your death. This is the authority that Rasulullah is giving. And number one, he's proving the importance of ziyarah. That when you do the ziyarah and visitation of Aimai Athar, whether they're alive or they have passed away, the reward is similar. And Rasulullah says what? Whoever does my ziyarah, does the ziyarah of Amir al-Mu'mineen, or does your ziyarah of Hassan al-Mujtaba. What happens to that person? حَقًّا كَانَ حَقًّا عَلَيَّ أَنْ أَزُورَهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَأُخْلِصَهُ مِنْ ذُنُوبِهِ. It will become a haqq upon me. It will become a right upon me from that individual who has done your ziyarat, for me to go ahead and visit him on the day of judgment. Rasulullah will do your ziyarat on the day of judgment. وَأُخَلِّصَهُ مِن ذُنُوبِهِ, and he will purify you from the dhunub and the sins that you may be carrying. Now you question, what is the dalil and what is the proof and what is the reason behind ziyarat? You have all the proofs in this one riwayat of Rasulullah that not only it is recommended, in fact it becomes wajib to go ahead and do the ziyarat when there is salvation written and nijat is written for you. Sallallahu Muhammad. One of the cruel rulers, he captured Yahya ibn Ya'mur. Yahya ibn Ya'mur was consistently saying, and he would always say, Hassan and Hussein to be the sons of Rasulullah. And of course, this is not today's story. This is something that is continuing from that time. There's a, how would you call him to be the son of Rasulullah when he was clearly the son of the daughter of Rasulullah? And we all know the progeny continues from sons and not daughters. Yahya ibn Ya'mur, he said, because of the nas. Nas is the biggest dalil that you can find in our fiqh. What does nas mean? Nas means text. He said, due to the text that exists, I call him to be the son of Rasulullah. He said, what is the nas? And then, this person, Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, he held back. He said, what is the nas? You must prove the nas. You must prove the text now if you want to survive. Your life depends on it now. He said, sure. He said, let me recite a verse from Quran for you. He recited this ayat which begins like this. وَنُوحًا هَدَيْنَا مِنْ قَبْلُ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِهِ داود وسليمان وأيوب ويوسف وموسى وهارون وكذلك نجزي المحسنين وزكريا ويحيى وعيسى وإلياس. He said, how does this ayat prove what you're saying, Hassan and Hussein are the sons of Rasulullah? He said, hold on. You said that they're the son of the daughter of Rasulullah? He said, yes, that's true. Everybody knows that. He said, this ayat says, after counting from the zurriyat of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, counted who? Counted all of these anbiya. Amongst them is Dawood, Sulaiman, Yusuf, Musa, Harun, Zakaria, Yahya, and Isa. He said, now tell me, who was the father of Hazrat Isa? They didn't have a father. Who was the mother of Hazrat Isa? Maryam. He said, then how is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with all the generations gap is calling Hazrat Isa to be the son and the zurriyat of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam? Although he was born from a mother and not from a father. And then how can you not go ahead and say that Hassanain are the sons of Rasulullah when there's only one medium in between them, and that is the wujud of Janab Fatimah Zahra salamullahi alayha. And they said that was not enough of a proof for you. He recited that ayat, وَمَنْ حَاجَّكَ فِيهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ فَقُلْ تَعَالَوْا نَدْعُوا أَبْنَاءَنَا وَأَبْنَاءَكُمْ. So everybody heard this ayat. When Rasulullah went to the Christians of Najran and he did this mubahala with them, or almost did mubahala with them because they ran away. They did not want to do mubahala because of the fear that they're seen in the eyes of Rasulullah, Amirul Mu'mineen, Hassanain, and Janab Sayyidina, who walked in. He said, who was the Mislah of Abna of Rasulullah as far as that ayat is concerned? He said it was none other than Imam Hassan al-Mustafa and Imam Hussein ibn Ali alayhi wa salatu wa salam. I recited this ayat, of course, keeping the time in perspective. We don't have a great deal of time. I recited this ayat from Surah Ahzab. And luckily, we've been doing the tafsir of Surah Ahzab as well. And I had to skip a few ayat, inshallah. I'll go back to the ayat tomorrow. But the day after that, ayat number 33 is the famous ayat that says, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ Ahl-e-Bait. That indeed, it is the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify you, O Ahl-e-Bait, the way you deserve this purification. Now, of course, everybody knows the story of Hadith Kisa. Hadith Kisa takes place in the house of Janab Sayyida. One by one, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain, Amir al-Mu'mineen, and Janab Sayyida, they all enter this cloak. And when they all had gathered underneath this cloak, Jibreel Amin descends and he says, Allah yaqra'uka as-salam wa yakhussuka bil-tahiyyati was-salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also descent. And when I asked him, Oh Allah, man ha'ula'i tahta al-nisa, who are these who are under the cloak? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded by saying, Hum Fatimatu wa abuha wa ba'luha wa banuha. This is Fatima. Allah Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
The historical aspect of this ayat. You've heard this ayat many times. I don't have a great deal of time, so just the historical aspect. We can historically say this ayat was revealed in the 6th year after Hijrah. Not after that, or maybe not before that either. 6th year after Hijrah. Why? Because Riwayat mentions that Imam Hassan walked in. Imam Hassan is born in the 3rd year after Hijrah. Imam Hussain is born in the 4th year after Hijrah. So, one son is 3 years old, the other son is 2 years old. You can tell that 3 and 2-year-old can walk, right? And when they come in from outside, so let's say they were playing outside the house maybe, not too far away, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, not too far away from the house. Or maybe they were playing in the, sahan if there was a sahan. But they have to be at least 3 or 4 years old for them to walk in, for them to say that I smell the fragrance of my grandfather. And Janab Sayyidina says, go there, he's in the room, go lay with him. And they go and they enter in the cloak and they ask all that stuff. 3-year-old can talk that much. So they have to be at least 3, bare minimum, if not more. So that's why I said 6th year after Hijrah is when this ayat is revealed. You know what people say? Well, that means they were not pure before the ayat was revealed. The question is, the purification happened in the 6th year after Hijrah. They were not pure prior to that. Even if we take this maqula, what you're saying, although we believe that Imam is ma'soom, masoon anil khata, from the beginning of the life, from the time they're born. Not when they assume the responsibilities of Imamat. So Hassanain are pure and mutahhar and tathir yafta from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the beginning. Not when this ayat is revealed. Let's see, hypothetically speaking, what you're saying is correct. That means when the time all of them are in this cloak, it includes Rasulullah. Because Fatima wa abuha, Rasulullah is in it, wa ba'luha, her husband is in it, wa banuha, her children are in it, and she's in there. This ayat is revealed to purify everyone who's in the cloak. Who's the oldest? Rasulullah is the oldest. Are you saying, na'udhu billah, that Rasulullah was not pure for the past 50 years of his life? And just became pure now? So then you have to include Rasulullah. So if you say, no, that is not the case, Rasulullah was always pure, then you have to include the fact that Hassanain were always pure as well, even before the ayat of Tathir was revealed. That's number one. Now that you believe that it was the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify, it's not the irada of any other individual. That means the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is strong. When He purifies someone, they remain pure. Who remained? Rasulullah died only 4 years after this ayat. 6th year, his ayat was revealed. 10th year, Rasulullah passed away. Hassanain lived for another 50 years. That means they remained pure for longer than Rasulullah. Number 2. And number 3 is the irada. That anything now Imam Hassan does, or anything that Imam Hussain does, it is according to the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if Imam Hassan makes sulh with Amir Sham, it is according to the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Imam Hussain stands in Karbala, it is according to the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat bi Muhammad wa last but not least, since we are on the topic of the irada, then if you were to say that Rasulullah and Hassanain became pure and pak and this tathir was done in the 6th year after Hijrah, then one thing is clear. Rasulullah announced his nubuwwat 15 years ago. in the state when, according to you, he was not pure. But he announced the wilayat of Ali in the 10th year after Hijrah. So when the ayat of Tathir has been revealed, so if anything you should doubt in the nubuwwat of Rasulullah, should not have any doubt on the wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. I'll conclude with these words that Imam Hassan was someone who was complete from all aspects of life. Why not? He is Imam Masoon. He is Tathir Yafta from this ayat, which is certificate on the Tathir and Taharat of his. But he was someone who, when he would stand up in prayer, when he would perform the wudu, you would see that his body parts would be shaking. His face complexion will change and he'll become pale when he would be doing the wudu. Someone said, "Oh, Hassan al-Mushtaba, why is the scenario like this with you? Why your face complexion changes?" He said, "The one in front of whom I am standing, it is haq upon him that my face complexion should change, that I should become pale, that my mafasil and hands should shake, because I'm standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." Imam Hassan is someone who performed Hajj not once, not twice, 25 times in his life. Not through these luxury means of travel. It says Hajja Mashiyan, Hajj al-Hasan Mashiyan. Imam Hassan performed 25 Hajj barefoot on his feet. He walked from Medina to Makkah, and when he was in Makkah, of course, he performed all the Hajj. So we find that all the Hajj that Hassan al-Mustafa performs barefoot. Therefore, take heed from this. Don't neglect this ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This ibadat is so important that Hassan al-Mustafa performed it 25 times. Mashiyan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq fi ami hada, and we make the dua in the dua of Ramadan, fi ami hada, in this year or in the years to come, we must perform this great ibadat of Hajj Baitullah alayhi salatu wasalam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq.